Sadly, Brian Michael Kozub last week passed away, doing something we do not yet know about. He will be missed. He always had that cockeyed smile and that awkward lazy eye. He had a really bad cowlick in his hair. He kind of looked like an uglier version of me. He will be missed.
You're fired.
Let's throw food at him.
Now,
Drinks.
our dear friend Trevor is going to read a passage from the Bible.
Trevor.
Trevor's going to read it.
This is the miracle of forgiveness.
Jesus wept. This is the end.
No.
So sad.
23.
23 does that mean I read all of 25?
Hurry, Trevor. Just ask questions. Just read. The dead is not resting in peace until you read this.
Okay. Once. And what are you looking at? What's so funny?
I love this. You should not be wearing the vest though.
And he went up from thence unto Bethel, as he was going up the way, came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and bare 42 children of them.
Alright, we done.
Amen.
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 This is terrible.
You got amen.
Now we have a eulogy from Samuel Stanley.
Hey, Cal.
Sam? Drake?
Yes.
I love
Okay,
them.
you might,
I love this
you might have to like stand in the middle so they can see the video accompaniment.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
Can that be read? Can you see that? Can you see that it is his name?
song. Michael. Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Kozub.
A man obsessed with human manufacturing of Victor Frankenstein-like proportions, a dabbler in the biologically undead. His fascination in the splicing of the human genome and the zombification of the living was what made him who he was. A person who lived his life with what he loved doing, who died what he loved doing. He hoped to resurrect zombies back to humans through the crossbreeding of the DNA of the living and the undead. As we all know, he took the DNA, extracted a sample from a living prostitute, which was part of her leg. His choice of the prostitute was indeed a good choice because this lazy bimbo didn't want to do any work for her own financial gain, unlike most prostitutes. That is why he took a part of her leg, because of the irony. With that, he had acquired...
What's going on? Are you going to rearrange his name?
It's the Titanic song.
His name's Lord Voldemort.
a lazier bimbo chunk. He also extracted a DNA sample from a zombie, specifically a boil from its back. With the DNA, he hoped that by combining the undead DNA with the living DNA, the zombie DNA would come back to life and regain humanity. The test proved successful. The boil regained life. It was human again. Brian had achieved the status of a back boil humanizer. Unfortunately, he did not foresee his demise. When he was caught off guard while trying to capture a zombie, he was bitten, and he himself became a zombie. Given the segregation that humans have against zombies, he had to live with other zombies. The zombies have a system where they live in groups, or cabals, as they are called. Due to Brian's obvious stubbliness, he was recommended to join a hunkier zombie cabal. Because, after all, he Being the best looking one, he was a caliber zombie hunk. However, as a zombie, Brian was still committed to his work of human-zombie genetic relations. Through much trial and error, he finally concocted a substance that allowed a zombie to become human again. To avoid further prejudices from humans, the zombies really wanted that stuff that he made. The stuff he made was really oily. And since it had to do with the undead, he called it macabre oil. Sales were going really well for him. His macabre oil was selling like crazy. He was even voted the sexiest zombie entrepreneur. Some even referred to him as the macabre oil biz hunk.
Whoa.
On page. Oh, yes. His oil became legendary in zombie folklore. He roamed the earth for hundreds of years as a zombie, selling his godly oil. To this day, zombies chant praises to Brian and his amazing discovery. Brian, Brian, Brian. However, humans, being incapable of fully understanding the communication of a zombie, the humans believed the zombies were in fact saying brains, not Brian. So when the zombies say, Brian, 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 the humans say, brains, brains, brains. Which is, unfortunately, a stereotype that has plagued zombie kind forever. Never having an official human funeral for his death, here we present a hero for zombie and humankind, Brian, and may I sure hope that this is a real fun funeral. Thank you.
You don't clock it anymore. The crop is different.
That was beautiful. I don't think I could have done a better job. Parker!
Brains!
Thank you very much.
Now that Parker's here, we can enjoy our half an hour vow of silence for Brian.
If I do say so myself.
Where is he? Where's his body?
The zombie's over there.
That's not Brian.
Okay.
It's brain.
Is it a reincarnation or is it?
That's Brian.
It's zombie Brian.
What services have I missed?
His rest of yours.
Eulogy written by Rick.
What's next?
You also just like
Half an hour
Is this yours?
of silence.
Half an hour?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please, respect for the dead.
I'll go right into him.
children, beloved.
Brothers and sisters.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we're done.
No, we're not.
Way too long.
This is a 2-hour funeral. You know the Facebook thing, right?
This is part 1 of
Show
5.
some respect.
Up next, we
Sorry, I
have
had TV at 9
a
to
musical
cover this
number
up.
by Brian's
to him?
son,
Yeah, I read the whole thing.
Nicholas Michael Kozub.
That's not me.
Where's Nicholas Michael Kozub?
That was his maiden name. Now it's Nicholas Nuttall.
Now.
He used to
Oh,
say
yeah.
it.
She forgot his own name.
Do you think I could get that chair?
Yeah. Like over there? Or?
As long as you have
I'll go over there.
make that chair your mare.
It's more than 5 minutes.
Is this long?
Respect for the dead.
Quiet up front.
Hey. Well, you be tripping.
So,
What must be?
see, not too long ago, Bob Dylan composed an all-new song about the loss of... Could we get another line?
Free bird.
Yeah, okay.
Free bird.
There's not enough time. It's a 2-hour ceremony. There's never enough time to play Freebird. Anyways, Bob Dylan
No, do it all.
composed this song in memory of the friends he'd lost along the way to drugs, wild times, and experimentation.
So, here's Bob Dylan's latest composition in memory of his friends, Friday.
Beautiful.
Tragically, you sang better than
We'll now open the stand up to any friends or family who wish to say a few last words to Brian before we bury his dead corpse.
Yeah.
When he actually died, she goes to his funeral.
No, he's dead.
Oh.
Tragically.
Alright, it's over.
No, I have something to say.
Hey man, you're done.
If you're not
Is it a rap speech? It sounds great.
No, I remember a story. When me and Brian were walking down, hunting dragons, and
Were you LARPing?
and we went into this cave, and there's this very fierce dragon, and I said, Brian, I don't think I can handle this. And he said, Parker, you just have to believe in yourself. And then he handed me his only flashlight. And then I watched him walk in the dark, looking for the dragon. And I yelled at him. I said, Brian, you're stupid. And that was the last thing I ever said to him. And you know, sometimes I wish I could just go back and change that and let him use the magical flashlight to kill the dragon instead of me. And so this one's for you, Brian.
Here, here. To Brian.
To Brian!
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Lisa?
Good?
Drake, you already did the thing.
No, that was Samuel.
Brian.
Oh, Drake, okay. Drake, okay.
That's random.
Brian, alright. What to say? He's always been like a sister to me.
Sorry.
Many summers we spent together in our childhood. memories, the times, they just seem like they happened yesterday, and I thought our time together would go on forever. Unfortunately, it was tragically cut short. We went to the zoo when we were young, and I remember this very distinctly. When he saw a kangaroo defecating in the corner, he turned to me and he said, "You know what? Someday I want to go and be an Eskimo." And I said, "In order to do that, why would you want to be an Eskimo?" And he said, "I want to live in a village where I make news for the polar bears, because polar bears need roads too." So I supported him. I supported his decision. As strange and irrational and slightly disturbing as it was, I supported him. I knew that he had a goal, and he had to stick with that goal to make news for polar bears in the Eskimo village. We went and got supplies. When we worked at Arby's for 5 years, having to clean everything with our tongues due to budgetary cutbacks. But we saved our money. We did. We bought kits. We bought expensive wood, and we traveled to the tundra where we were prepared to have him live his dream. And one morning, I woke up. I look over at his hammock hanging from the palm tree, and I say, and I don't see him there. And so I search around the tundra with my good pal Nanook. He drags me along on his sled, and there we see Brian standing in the middle of the frozen wasteland as he's muttering to himself, looking up. And I approach him, and I say, "Brian, what is it? What is it, good friend? Please tell me what ails you." And he turned to me, and then he took his hand, he put it in his mouth, and ripped his own jaw off. He hemorrhaged profusely. He was terrified. I could just see it in his one remaining eye. I don't know where the other one went. It was just gone when I got there. I tried to help my good friend with his tongue flapping about left and right because it wasn't attached to a dog. And I heard him say his last words before I rushed him to the hospital because I never saw him again. And he said, "I did it for Johnny." Thank you.
Where is Johnny? He should be here. Yes? You want to say a few words, Johnny?
Kind of emotional for me. Not until later. Would you care if we went to...
Here, wait, what?
What?
Are you okay with that?
I want to say something.
Yes. I'll go over.
Who will provide for the kids now? Huh?
So, me and Drake and Brian went to the zoo. It was when we were really little.
He was so.
And we were visiting the polar bears when Parker said that was stupid, and we went over to the dragon exhibit. And we decided to go in. Brian thought it'd be a great idea to go inside the dragon exhibit to defeat the dragon. And I was too scared to go inside. But they went inside bravely. And the last thing Brian said to me was butts. I love that kid.
Here, I'll fill in.
He's just died several instances.
Call it. We have a lot of people who want to go up.
All right.
This is the last one.
It's not lethal.
It won't take long. This is really short. Courage. Wait.
Wait, let me see.
Wrong movie.
Okay, courage. What makes a king out of a slave?
What?
Courage. What flag on the mast to wave? What makes an elephant charge at the misty mist and the dusky dusk? What makes a muskrat guard his musk? Courage. What makes the Hottentot so hot? What puts the ape in apron? What did Brian have that I ain't got?
Courage.
Say that again.
He's got
Yeah, Dave, please.
Brian was like a brother to me, but not an actual brother. A brother is like how black people say it. I think it's more
Racist!
Let him talk.
I'm such a wait a minute. You Googleizer, right?
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
That was it.
Oh, yeah.
That was the quote from Zoolander.
Yeah, it was.
I'm next.
I knew the verse.
I will. I'm getting in mine.
Testimony.
I should have accentuated that.
I didn't know Brian for a very long time. But our friendship was like an old one. I remember how we shared many things. We shared our view on the mediocrity of Dead Man.
What time is it?
Our admiration for the
I could pass that
audacity of Shakespeare. Or what's that called? That doesn't matter. I remember riding bikes to Walmart
Take it off.
with Brian as we talked about the miracle that is Palm Wonderful pomegranate juice. I remember his orange Converse high tops. That might have been called. Anyways, the point is that Brian and I shared a great number of things that only old friends could share. And that was the great thing about Brian, is that he was like an old man who went to college. Just like Pierce from Community.
Alright. I'm going to tell a story.
Bear testimony.
Okay, so one time me and Brian were down here and we were sitting right there. And we had been watching scary movies and he was chasing me around. And then we heard a noise from the laundry room and Brian jumped up. He goes, "What was that? What was that?" And then he was like, Temma, somebody punched the dryer. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I was like, somebody like ran over there and punched the dryer. He's like, no, somebody's inside and punched it. And both of us really got scared and we ran up the stairs. I'm not the end of the story, but.
That was a
And I
great
remember
story.
that time that Brian got inside the dryer.
That was hilarious.
He's still in there.
Well, I have to keep him warm somehow.
Are there any final remarks about our old but dead friend?
Dibs on his spleen.
I think my testimony that I know Brian is my best friend.
I was just leaving.
I could sing a song.
Well, no, that's all right.
You do it
Brian's over.
Well, no, it's not over. We have final words from David Driggs, the man who Brian held closest to his heart, speculated to have an affair with. Alex, last remarks? No?
I was really looking forward to Alex's one.
I know, me too. Alex?
Alex.
Alex.
Matt knows all. Get up there.
Alex. The people.
I couldn't go up there before you. I couldn't do it. Yeah. This is how we have to do it.
David. David, close this meeting.
Okay. This is a little poem for Brian. Dead Brian.
I think Alex has some words.
Yeah, I did it right. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Quiet, you're supposed to be dead.
He wrote it. It's just on his
Okay.
phone.
Now, Brother Brian is soaring with eagles high above because he lived the life of love. Yes, he's flying way up high because he was a super cool guy. He's gone away too soon, seems, leaving behind his unfinished dreams. Yes, we remember Brian, a man with faith no man could shake, a strength no man could break, a character no man could fake. For goodness sake, let's eat some cake.
To Brian.
Here, here.
Alright, who wants to go?
lesson's over.
Alex has something to
Is
say.
that Natalie to speak?
Oh, Becca, Natalie.
I was already.
Please take the floor.
I am not part of
Alex has something to say. It's important.
Okay.
Anything Alex says is important.
It's a nightmare place. That's why he
Alex,
wants to
you
stay
speak.
in hell.
Holly.
Are you
crying?
Keep going.
Alex.
Alex, you need to
Alex,
speak.
Alex,
Missed
come on.
my final
The
remarks.
people. Alex, come on. Come on.
For Brian.
Alex, at least give him a good moan of woe. At least.
I'd like to bear my testimony that Brian was my best friend.
Amen.
Amen.
Here, here.
Is that all? Is that everyone? Rebecca, you meant a lot to Brian. He talked about you a lot in his sleep.
Natalie, I think they're talking.
They clearly said Becca.
Natalie, go.
Monopoly.
Why not? Take turns.
Wait, there's a Monopoly after party?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
mopping contest.
We're putting together a 500-piece puzzle of the Beatles lineup.
Is that everyone?
Yep, I think so.
No, Brian's
I just can't get it all right and
If anyone's seen Parker's cup, he'd like his cup back.
I need my cup back.
He lost his cup.
Wait, which kind of cup? Like for wrestling or for drinking out of?
If you look carefully enough at all the detail, you can see what it is.
It's like the shroud of Orion.
Okay, all right.
That one? Is it open? Why not?
It's a picture of Brian.
Parker, I saw Donnie last night, but I didn't do anything yet. 'Cause I didn't
Now
know he
to
was office.
symbolically close the meeting. No. Alex will take Brian, the remains of Brian, outside where he will be left for the rest of his life.
Well, his dead life.
Just as he must go outside our hearts.
As Brian
As it said on the-
leaves this life, he also leaves.
Do not fall face down on mine.
Sir,
Wait.
sir, when's the last will and testament?
Okay.
Is that afterwards?
Yeah.
I leave everything to Alex.
The will.
What? Wait, what? Except for my t-shirts, which go to Tam. Wait, what about me?
Well,
You
Alex.
can borrow stuff from Alex.
Dude,
I will
Here, how about I get your financial aid?
Can I get
Your tuition. Does that go
now
to me?
if you would please rise
Oh, no, with me.
as we take Brian out of our lives. Liesel, get up now.
I was working on it. Chill pill.
Wait, not now!
Judas tu Domine, Dominis requiem. Dieges tu Domine, Dominis requiem. Dieges tu Domine, Dominis requiem.
This is the way we walk. Everybody, everybody.